Hello, welcome to Tim Connolly Drums. Just going to wait a couple minutes here and see if we can get some people to join me for this live stream. We'll see. It's an unusual live stream. I only put it up maybe a couple hours ago. And I don't do live streams like consistently, like some YouTubers do a consistent live stream where, you know, every Sunday, every Monday morning. I know lots of live streamers or YouTubers that do that. I don't. I my schedule is just so haphazard that I have a tendency to just do the live streams whenever I feel like it. That's number one. Combined with when I have a chance, when I have time. You know, I'm a busy guy with all the things going on in my life, and I've talked about it many times. If you want to make a living as a musician, you have to be able to hustle. And I'm trying to get gigs for my band right now, and I'm promoting the band, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do promotion. I'm not sure how many of you guys out there have bands. Whoops. But are in bands, but it's a lot of work. There's no doubt about that. Whoops, I keep hitting that and putting that up. Anyways, what I wanted to talk about today is I'm trying to come up with some new ideas for my channel. Now, it's funny because it's like I've done it all. I've done playthroughs, but I stopped. And I'll tell you why. It has to do with copyright claims, plain and simple. Anytime you do any kind of a cover tune, and you know, I take the drums out. I use Moises. For those of you that aren't familiar with Moises, it's an app where you can basically remix any song, removing whatever instrument or vocals, backup vocals, whatever. And I use Moises, and I remove the drums, and then I replace the drums, right? And I videotape myself using another app, which is the Wreck and Share app for my Yamaha EAD10. That's how I mic myself. And I record myself playing. Now, I've done that in the past many, many times, but there's not hardly any on my channel right now, if any, because every time I did that, copyright claim. Never got a strike. You don't get strikes because you don't want strikes. That's the worst. But copyright claims. So I avoid playthroughs because I just think with the copyright claim, it's just a complete waste of time. And I know that a lot of people do playthroughs, covers on YouTube, and it's their thing, but I think they're wasting their time. I mean, to each his own. If you want to waste your time filming a video and, you know, getting the light, getting the right sound, learning all the drum parts, playing the drum parts, you might have to do several takes because a lot of YouTube is perfection. I'm not into perfection. I always think of things as being live. So when I film myself playing, I usually just film it. If I really mess up, then I do a retake. But if there's a mistake, so be it. It's part of being live, in my opinion. I'm live right now, and things happen live. So whatever. When I film my videos, I want to tell you guys, I very, very rarely do takes. I just put the camera on and I just start talking. And it's very natural for me to do that because a lot of the things that have happened to me, I can just regurgitate it. You know, different stories and things that happen to me. Nothing is rehearsed. That's another thing. Nothing is rehearsed. I don't practice what I'm going to say before the video. I literally just turn the lights on. I do a quick sound check to make sure my mic is working and everybody can hear me properly. I make sure that the lighting is good and the shot is good. And then turn the camera on and then I go. The editing is probably the longest part of the whole process of being a YouTuber. It's the editing. Anyways, my stories, I started doing stories last July because I did one story and it was meant to be kind of, I had no intention of this is a new aspect of my channel. No, Wasn't like that at all. I just sat down outside on a sunny day and talked about how there's just no money in gigging in Ontario unless you're gigging at a higher level, and meaning bar gigs. There's just no money in bar gigs, which everyone would agree with me. Anyone that doesn't agree with me is someone that's never done it because you put so much time into any kind of a band, and then you go and you get paid $100 for your time, and your day is 12 hours, if not longer in some cases, depending on where you got to go. So when you're in that situation where you're playing in a bar, you're only making $100, $150 if you're really lucky. It's just a waste of time, those bar gigs. So basically, I'm coming on here, I'm ranting a little bit, but I'm just tired of wasting my time. That's why I'm trying to find new ideas, and I'm reaching out to my loyal viewers and subscribers to try and get some ideas for what people want to see. I mean, I do a lot of lessons. The majority of my channel is actually lessons. The stories, like I said, I just sat down one day and I told a story about how Ontario really sucks for bar bands in terms of getting paid. And it took off. I got about 35,000 views or something. And that's really, really good for my channel. Really good. So I decided, hey, it seems like people like this talking. Plus, I saw a few other musician YouTubers doing the same thing. I think that's actually what inspired me to sit down in the backyard. I saw another YouTuber. I think it was Bad Brad. Yeah. And I saw him, and he was talking about something. And I thought, you know, I think he was talking about how there's no money in the Nashville scene. And then I thought, man, there's no money in this scene here either. So I'm going to start talking about it. Anyway, so I did the talking, but I think that has kind of run its course. So now the latest thing I'm doing is sort of documentary type videos where I'm talking about famous drummers, but famous drummers that you may not have known about or heard about, like Buddy Harman and Jim Gordon. Go and check out my 2 newest videos. Now, if you've heard of Buddy Harman, and be honest, let me know. If you've heard of Jim Gordon, let me know. I'd be really interested. Most people, despite the fact that both of those guys were Wrecking Crew drummers and they played on hundreds and hundreds of hit songs, a lot of the songs are really old. So if you're, you know, a young person that just doesn't listen to a lot of old music, well, you're not going to know Buddy Harman and Jim Gordon. But I'm telling you right now, you want to know them as players. Now, Jim's story, very sad, very sad. You got to check out my video to find out about Jim. But Buddy lived a great life. I think he died in 2008. He was in his 70s. He didn't live a super long life, which is unfortunate because he was a really, really treasured musician. Jim, on the other hand, he just died in 2023, but go and check out my video because it was pretty tragic, the whole Jim Gordon story. So I did a lot of lessons on my channel in the past. I did a lot of gear reviews. I'm going to continue to do the gear reviews and the lessons. I'm not saying I'm not doing them anymore. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not doing playthroughs. So I'm not going to be doing any playthroughs because every single time you add only even a few seconds of a song that's recognizable, that the bots can pick up when you upload a video, it gets reviewed by YouTube. If they see anything that's copyrighted, ba-boom, you get it. And you can't dispute a copyright that's a playthrough because obviously you're playing drums on the song. You didn't write the song. You don't have rights to the melody, the harmony, etc. You are 100% of the time, unavoidable, going to get a copyright claim. So if you go on and watch YouTubers that do a lot of playthroughs, like Cena, she actually admitted, but I already knew, but she actually admitted that every single one of her videos has a copyright claim on it. Well, what's the point of that? I just don't understand that. To me, that's useless. Part of the reason why I am on YouTube is because I do enjoy it, but it's also part of my income. I make money off YouTube. I'm a monetized YouTuber and I make some money. And I got a comment here. Let's see what we got here. Amos, good morning, everyone. Afternoon. Hi, Tim. Working, listening. Nice. All right, man. Great, great. I'm happy to have you here. Thank you very much. Cheers. Anyways, what I was saying was I'm just trying to change up my YouTube again. I'm always reinventing the YouTube, but there's always going to be the standard things that I always do, which is, I love teaching. Teaching is my life. I have to leave around 3 today to drive to the music school that I teach at. And I'm going to be teaching from roughly, I don't know, 3:30 or 4. I think I start at 4 till 9. That's my typical teaching day at the music school. At my house, some days I teach 2 hours. I only have a few students. Other days I teach 6 to 8 hours. That's a long day of teaching, but I'm certainly not going to complain because anyone that wants to learn the drums is a friend of mine. I think music is so therapeutic. I had a chat yesterday with a student who left because he had some life tragedies happen to him. But he called me yesterday. He's an adult student, really super smart guy, and he said to me, I really want to take the lessons, but I've had some things happen, and what do you think? And I said, well, what I notice about taking lessons and playing an instrument, not just the lessons, but the instrument playing, is that it's therapeutic. When you sit down and you play your drums, your guitar, piano, you sing a song, whatever you do, you forget about the troubles in your life, even if it's only for a time being. Now, a lot of people turn to alcohol and drugs to do the exact same thing. They want to forget about their troubles. So what do? They drink their troubles away, they do drugs, and it's very unhealthy. And the next day you're hungover, you could be in jail because people do stupid shit when they're drinking and high, driving and, fighting and robbing banks for all I know, stupid shit. Playing your drums is not stupid shit. It's healthy, it's physically invigorating, it's mentally invigorating, it stimulates you and it makes you happy. And that's what I told him. I said, man, the lessons do the same thing. When you go to your lesson and you have a teacher that inspires you, motivates you, teaches you something new, you learn about different aspects of not just drumming, but music, because I like to teach a full curriculum, not just drumming, but how do the drums fit into the song? Why am I playing this transitional fill from the verse leading into the chorus? What makes a great fill? I don't just teach random fills for the sake of, here's a cool lick. I mean, I have had teachers in the past that did that, and it's cool to learn a new lick, but if you don't know how to apply that lick musically inside of a groove or a song, what's the point? There's no point to that fill. Every fill, every groove, everything you do on the drums has to have musical application, in my opinion. Those are the greatest drummers that when you listen to a song and the drummer's got a very, very musical part, those are the best songs, in my opinion. Musical drummers are my favorite drummers. When you hear drummers playing over the top and too much, then they're trying to feed the ego a little bit. And I try to avoid that. We as musicians, we all have egos. Some are fragile, some are massive. I've been around some guys with egos that were out of control. Unfortunately, nobody wants to work with them. Your ego's out of control as a musician, nobody's going to want to work with you because they just can't deal with that. I got to tell you guys a story, something that just happened to me 2 days ago. So in my band that I put together, I'm still searching for a keyboard player. So if anyone that's been following me for the last several months, they'll know that I been trying to find a keyboard player. I'm trying to avoid tracks, go to a keyboard player. And I interviewed about 15 so far. I had 2 that were actually really good in terms of I didn't hear anybody play. Haven't heard a soul play yet. I am just trying to find somebody that I can get along with, that I know my bandmates will get along with, because in a band, there's always a connection. You have to have those connections. And I'm not talking about instrument connection, even though that is part of it. But what I'm talking about is, can you stand being around this person? Now, I know from touring, it is extremely difficult if you're with somebody and you're with them day in and day out, literally 24/7. You live with them, whether it be in a van, a car, a bus, even in a hotel. Sometimes you can't even avoid them in a hotel because you get stuck with them in the same room. You never get your own room. I'm not on the Keith Urban tour. I'm on low grade tours where sometimes it's all the whole crew, everybody in one room, you know? So, anyways, the story I wanted to tell you was I interviewed this new keyboard player. My bass player said, "Hey, Tim, there's this keyboard player that's interested in the band, and you want to interview him?" I'm like, "Okay." So he messages me. We, a little bit of back and forth. We finally arranged to do the interview, and uh, the interview didn't last long. I'm going to tell you straight up, it did not last long. And the reason is, this guy was a dick, plain and simple. His ego was out of control. He says, imagine this. This is stuff, this is where people say, "I can't believe the things that happen to you. It's crazy, the stuff that happens to you." Well, this is another example of the craziness. The craziness. Imagine being in a job interview. Okay. So it doesn't matter what the job is, you're in an interview, and the first thing out of your mouth is how you don't really like the job. Or in the case of a musician, you don't really like the music. The music is beneath you. The music is kindergarten. This is what this keyboard player says to me, or this piano player. He tells me that he's a classical piano player and he writes scores and this and that. Great. Professional musician, music school, the whole 9 yards. Great. I did the exact same thing. Exactly the same, except not classical music. I did jazz studies. And then later on, there was elements of rock and funk and a lot of Afro-Cuban and stuff like that. So yes, I went to music school. I'm a studied musician, same as this guy. But I would never say the music is kindergarten or the music is beneath me at a job interview. So I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it when this guy says to me, "Yes, I'm a classical player, but the music that you're playing is kindergarten. It's beneath me. It's very easy." And I'm like, "Well, actually, it's not, because a lot of the stuff is groove oriented and it's feel oriented." So for those of you that don't know, it's a 70s, 80s funk, disco, top 40 R&B. So we're doing some Motown, then we're doing the whole 70s funk and disco thing with all the hits and the classic stuff. But man, it's groove, heavy bass oriented with killer vocals. And our singer is amazing. Amanda is truly amazing. You can check out some videos I have of me playing with the band Clean Slate. That's the band. And she's awesome. So for this guy to, immediately bury himself telling me that the music is beneath him, who the hell wants to work with that guy? Can you imagine being at a gig and him sitting there? "Oh, I hate these songs. Oh, I don't want to be here. Oh, I need to be playing Chopin," or something like that. Like, it's ridiculous. You have to enjoy the music you play. Now, that being said, I played lots and lots of gigs where I've had to play Justin Bieber, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga. I can't stand any of that music. However, I don't complain about having to play it. I think to myself, hey, I'm playing drums. I'm having a good time. Regardless of whether I like the songs or not, I still have a positive attitude to the audience, the listener, and to my bandmates. But this guy, I could just tell he'd be a nightmare. So to save my bandmates from having to go through the hell of spending even a minute with this guy, I had to explain to him what band dynamics mean. Then at the end, he admits to me he's never played in a band. Are you kidding me? It's a pro level band. This guy's never played in a band. He's only played in orchestras or solo stuff. And he's telling me the music is beneath him, but he's never actually played it. Unbelievable. Ridiculous. So needless to say, that interview went south real quick and I cut him off. And yeah, I think we're going to be going with tracks again because I just can't find a keyboard player. Anyways, let's get to some of these comments. I'm sorry, guys. Hi, Tim. How's it hanging, brother? It's hanging well. I hope you and the other 5 people watching are continuing to buy Canadian. Screw the Orange Freak Show. Yeah, yes, elbows up. Yep, definitely buying Canadian. That is for sure. Amos, I'm happy to hear your band is accepting gigs now. Yeah, we are rolling, and I'm looking for the right kind of gigs. That's the hard part. It's not easy to get the kind of gigs that I'm looking for because I'm not doing any bar gigs except maybe a couple just to get the band's feet wet. Amos again, yes, people look in Tim's video, IQ and EQ. Thank you very much. Yes, IQ and EQ. EQ, extremely important element of being a musician. Extremely, important. You have to understand the way people think. You have to understand relationships. You have to understand how to deal with people, and you need to have empathy and compassion for your fellow musicians and for your audience. That's a huge thing. So yes, thank you very much. Please check out my IQ and EQ video. I highly recommend it. It's great. Sean, I'm turning down all American gigs right now. Elbows up, dude. Well, Sean, I'm going to tell you something about that. I am too. I actually got offered some gigs in Atlantic City at the casino. I played there many, many times. I'm not crossing the border. I actually think, sad to say, and nothing against the American people, I'm not a fan of Trump at all. I don't want to get into politics here today. It's not something, I don't talk about politics and religion on my channel. Those are the 2 no-nos. But I am going to say, in defense of my country, and I'm a very proud Canadian, is that I'm not going to the States. I actually think it's a little bit dangerous for us right now. There's a lot of people out there that are supporting Trump and his ideas, and I don't want to put myself at risk or any of my bandmates at risk. So yeah, I'm not going across the border either. I got offered Buffalo Yacht Club, which I played before, got offered there, got offered some other gigs in New Jersey, which is where Atlantic City is. But I turned them all down because I just don't think this is the right time to be crossing the border. I'm just trying to stick to gigs in Canada for the time being. Radio Chaos. Hey, how are you, man? I had a classical singer behave the same way in a dance band I was in. She didn't do a great job because she didn't prepare the material. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I have that baby. I see your baby thing there. I have that baby drummer. I love that. I actually have a huge picture of that baby drummer. Anyways, yeah. I played in bands before with classical players. And if you're playing, imagine Tear the Roof Off the Sucker, playing some Parliament or some Cameo, really heavy funk, or Tower of Power, and that bass player is just killing it. And you got a stiff, classical player on the piano who's not feeling the groove. You've got to be able to feel the groove. You've got to be in the pocket. James Brown, you're playing any James Brown, or if you're playing Maceo Parker, oh my God, funky as hell. And to be able to play that kind of funk, you have to be able to swing. Almost every funk tune's got a swing. Even hip hop swings very heavily. For those of you familiar with New Jack Swing, heavy swung music. Classical music is not swung. So therefore, I don't expect a classical player to necessarily be able to play Maceo Parker because they just don't have the swing feel nailed down. Now, the bass player in my band is an amazing bass player, and he's funky as hell. So imagine myself and the bass player trying to do some trading or some phrasing with a keyboard player that's basically just playing. He's got a classical style of playing, and the groove and the funk is not there, and the swing is not there. It's just not going to work. So I totally understand. It's the same thing with vocals. I mean, our singer's extremely funky as well. She can sing her ass off, but she's got groove, she's got feel. Timing is everything for a vocalist, and you have to have all these things. So yeah, singer just as important as anyone in the band in terms of getting that groove and that swing feel. And I can remember her always telling me that she takes all her cues off me. So I got to be doing the right thing. I can't be worried about what this keyboard player's doing. I got to be doing my own thing so that I can keep her on track, because especially if we're now going to be playing with the tracks again, obviously the timing has to be spot on, but I'm used to playing with tracks and with a click, so that's not an issue. Okay, Sean Spring. I have charts for only so much oil in the ground. What is hip? Man, that stuff is killer. I mean, Garibaldi, What is Hip? One of my favorite funk songs of all time. That grooves in the pocket so heavy, man. It's just crazy. And I love the groove players. I really do. I love the groove drummers that really, I mean, I love the chop guys too. Don't get me wrong. I love the chop guys. But like I said earlier, to me, the groove guys always play the tastiest, most musical, almost groove related fills and phrasing. And that's what I personally like. I like the guys that really, really are musical in their phrasing around the kit. If you listen to this one guy in the band Lettuce, I'm trying to remember his name, Deitch, Adam Deitch, Deitch. That guy is funky as hell. Check him out. The band is Lettuce, but if you just look up, I think it's Adam Deitch. If you look him up just on YouTube and just watch him solo, his solo alone, you see the whole crowd doing this. That's the goal. Usually you're getting the band to do that, and then it translates to the audience, and your audience is doing that, right? But when you're just a drummer and you're playing drums and you get your audience doing that, that's jackpot. That's magic, man. Okay, Radio Chaos. Oh, wait, did I miss somebody? Hold on. Sorry. I think I did. Yes. Let me see here. I missed somebody. Big D Bass. How are you, Big D? Me being the oldest member of the band with a very good ear and like to give an opinion or direction of a song, but then I get the, oh, Mr. Know-It-All attitude from the band. What do I do? Quit? Oh, man. Yeah. That's a tough one. I'm the oldest in the band too. I mean, it's how you approach it, Big D. I think that's the key. And as band leader, I'm band leader. Obviously, it's going to be easier for me to criticize people. Actually, I'll leave that up there a little bit so people can see it. It's going to be easier for me to criticize people because I'm the boss. And when you're the boss, people will accept criticism. Sometimes criticism, though, if it's done in the wrong way, people take it the wrong way. Musicians' egos, very fragile. Whether they're actually, the ones with the huge egos are the most fragile. The guys that I play with, personally, they're all really, really great players. I pretty much never have to tell them what to do. The only thing I ever tell them what to do, sometimes the bass player gets carried away. Like, I can remember on a few gigs and I told him, stop doing this. It's driving me insane. He'll go into the audience and he's got his bass go into the audience. He'll take his bass. I got to show you this. He'll take his bass, put it around a girl. Then he goes right in close to the girl behind her. And then he plays his bass. Now, obviously, the girl doesn't know how to play, but it makes her feel like she's in the band and she gets to play. I know why he's doing it. It's a fun thing, but there's a few things here that can go bad. Obviously, you don't want to be touching people, because even though you're on the guise of you're performing and whatever, rubbing up against a girl, putting the bass around her, even if she's into it, that's a bad idea on all kinds of levels. I'm sure you guys understand what I'm talking about. The other thing is, he's constantly making mistakes. because he's so focused on this girl and smelling her hair and everything that he's screwing up in his playing. And that makes me more annoyed than anything as a band leader. Don't make mistakes when they don't need to be made. I understand you break a string, you fall, somebody throws something at you, you know, things happen on stage. I understand. But this can be avoided because you're intentionally causing yourself to make mistakes because you're in a position where you shouldn't be. So, anyways, he's a fantastic bass player, but I've had to tell him on a few times, don't do that. Stay on the stage. I don't like inviting people on the stage either. It's just a band thing. I don't like, especially people if they're like, I play guitar. Can I come up and play? I sing. Can I come up and sing? At a wedding? Yeah. The bride's a singer. The bride's dad wants to sing Frank Sinatra. Yeah, come up on stage. Not a problem. You know, Don't Stop Believing. You want to sing Don't Stop Believing? No problem. At a wedding and stuff like that. At corporate gigs, yeah, it depends. I never let them touch the instruments, though. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that. But I never let anybody touch the instruments. I'll never forget playing a gig. I think it was in Oakville, Ontario. And the guitar player let a guy come up. What does he do? He breaks his G string 30 seconds into whatever song we were playing. It's a long time ago. I can't remember. Breaks the G string on the guitar. He had to use an acoustic guitar for the rest. Luckily, he had one, but he had to use an acoustic guitar for the rest of the night. He didn't have any extra strings. And you break the G string, you're pretty much done. That's a pretty major string on a guitar. Anyways, I'm ranting as usual. The reason I came on here today was because I just want to let you guys know I'm trying new things. I'm trying to expand my viewers. I'm trying to grow the channel. It's a forever thing. It never ends. But I just wanted to get on here and let you guys know. What do you like? No playthroughs. I already established that. I'm not doing playthroughs. But let me know. What do you like? Lessons, the stories, the gear reviews, the commentary where I give tips and advice about things. Do you like the top 10s where I do countdowns, my top 10 favorite drummers, my top 10 favorite funk drummer, top 20 drummer, whatever? Do you like my newest thing, which is telling documentary style stories, or not stories, but video about famous drummers like Buddy Harman and Jim Gordon that I just did? If you guys didn't see those, check it out. I've got other commentary videos like my IQ versus EQ. I try to take everything that I do, though, of course. If it's just talking, I try to relate it to music. Now, I've got a vast experience of performing, and I talk a lot about my things that have happened to me on the gig. And that seemed to do quite well for about, say, 8 months, and now it seems to have dropped right off. I recently put out 2 videos, and they basically did nothing, and I was kind of disappointed. So I didn't delete them, but I put them to private, and because I just found that, I don't know, the stories just, people, you know, you gain interest, you gain a large crowd, and then all of a sudden it just dies out. And that's the reality of YouTube. You're going to have times where you get lots of things happening and people enjoy what you're doing, and then all of a sudden it's over. It's like a fad or something, you know. Let me see if I've got any more comments here I'm missing. Radio Chaos. I was in a funk band called Full Frontal Nudity. Nice. I think Full Frontal Nudity, isn't that a movie or a band, or it's something? I've definitely heard of that. But Nerdity, that's cool. I like that. That's a great band name. I was once in a band called Sexy Dave and the Hot Sauce, and I was known as the Velvet Hammer. And then I was in another band called Your Mother Never Complained About It. That was a really fun band. And that band, all we did was corny tunes that are fun, like Stacy's Mom. We did that song. We did Hey Mickey, You're So Fine, You Blow My Mind. We did My Sharona. You know, we did all the fun kind of silly songs. Pretty Fly for a White Guy. You know, all those kind of songs. It was a lot of fun. The audiences loved it. And, you know, we would dress up in costumes, and, you know, Your Mother Never Complained About It. That was our big motto with the, obviously with the name of the band. It was a lot of fun. I actually miss that band because people knew it was fun right away. When you hear a band with that name, you know you're gonna have fun at the gig. And I I miss that band. I'm trying to remember what happened with that band. I think two of the guys left. They moved. Yeah. And then it just wasn't the same because I remember the main guy in the band, the singer, I think his name was Johnny. He was a hilarious guy. He was so funny. He's one of these guys that could just make funny stuff up in the heat of the moment. You know, he would see somebody in the crowd and boom, he could interact with them immediately. He wasn't a comedian, but he could have been a professional comedian because he just had that ability to interact with people on the fly, make it up in time, nothing rehearsed, and he was brilliant at it. Really, really brilliant at it. And I miss that band. Let me see. I think that's the end of the comments here. Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, geez. My mistake. Something is blocking me here. Hold on. I got lots of comments here. My mistake. Okay, Sean. My sister was involved with TOP's manager, so I got to hang out with them the best. I might get to jam next month with Tom Politzer. Look him up. Monster tenor with TOP. Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. I've hung out with David Garibaldi. One of the scariest moments of my life was playing a show and looking over off to the side stage, looking over on the side stage. I wasn't playing a Tower of Power song. I can't remember what song I was playing. It might have been Toto. What's that called? I can't remember. It was a Toto song. It'll come to me in a second. But anyways, look over. There's David Garibaldi on the side and looking at me, watching me playing. And I'm like, oh my God, David Garibaldi's watching me. He was very kind to me, though. I remember coming off stage and him saying, man, you nailed that tune. Way to go. And I was like, whoa, coming from David Garibaldi, that's freaking awesome. Sean, my wife is one of Southern Ontario's singers, in my humble opinion, and I play guitar. We've talked to you before. We played the same Ontario circuit for you for many years. Would love to collaborate with you at some point. Awesome. Yeah, you talked to me before. Do you mean, Sean, when you say you talked to me before, do you mean like in person, like at a gig? You came up to me and spoke to me at a gig somewhere or something like that? Or do you mean we've talked just on here, like at previous other live streams, or you've commented on a video? So let me know. Yeah, I'd be interested to do that. That sounds cool. And Velvet Hammer, great nickname. Yeah, that was my nickname in Sexy Dave and the Hot Sauce. That was a fun band too. Only problem with that band was it was unpredictable. There was a lot of unpredictability with that band in terms of like work. Sometimes we'd work really steady and then all of a sudden it would dry up, and it was difficult for me as a professional. I need steady work. So, you work like crazy and then all of a sudden it's gone and no explanation as to why it's gone. That was kind of weird. But anyways, Slow Finger 2. Yes. Hello. Great to see you in here. Hi, Tim. Just found out about the live. Dad, I think that's told me about a band in the 30s, the Scrap Iron Jazzaronis. That's awesome. Oh, there it is. Jazzerinos. Yeah, I've never heard of them, but that would be something to see. When you have a band with fun names, it does attract people. Sometimes, obviously bands come up with different names for different reasons. I now find it difficult because I'm trying to find that name that's just so cool. But now my daughter came up with a band name for her band, and my daughter's name is Emma. She came up with a band name called the Emma C Method. Ooh, because that's her thing. She has a method for doing things. We call it the Emma C Method, and now that's the name of her band. She's a guitar player. She also plays drums. My daughter is awesome. She's 14 years old, and she's discovered music for the last year and a half, 2 years, and she's a huge fan. I had a moment with my daughter, and she wants to play music with me. And we had a moment of actually her playing guitar and I was playing drums, of course. And I think my wife filmed it, actually. It was our first time just jamming to one of her bands that she loves tunes. Now, I wasn't actually familiar with the song. I only listened to it, I think, once, maybe twice, but I jammed it out with her as best I could. But she knew the song. She knew the song. She loves the band Tokyo Hotel. That's her favorite band. Garibaldi is super cool. Yes, Sean. Garibaldi is super cool. Really nice guy. Very humble. Very talented. You know, I remember talking to him for quite a long period of time at Dom Famiero's birthday party 2 years ago, out in the backyard, or not the backyard. It wasn't Dom's place, but it was in this this thing that Dom's wife rented for the birthday party. You know, like a venue, and outside watching him play, because everybody got to play with the band. Dom had a killer New York session musicians show up, and then all the drummers that were at Dom's birthday party got to play a tune or two. So that was really awesome. I mean, it's intimidating when you're at one of those things. Every drummer I mean, you wouldn't believe the drummers that were at this function. You know, I was just thrilled to be there, but I was hanging out with some really, really cool musicians, and then you got to get up on stage and play in front of them. Not easy, but I managed. Another comment here. Sorry, I'm trying to get the comment. I can send you links. Had a 4 or 5 piece band and a 10 piece. Wow. Yeah, send me some links, Sean. Sounds good. Garibaldi and Rocco together were unique. No online. Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Nothing online. I guess there's nothing online about that. But I've seen Garibaldi play live with Tower Power a few times, and just amazing, that collaboration, without a doubt. Sounds great to play with your kids. Yeah, Slow Finger too. It was a lot of fun. My son, he's also a drummer. He was playing with her as well, and it was awesome. The family band. You made some Sean again. You made some. Let me put it up here. You made some cryptic reference in a vid. I guess it was Rob Taggart and Chicken Deli you were referring to. I haven't played much since COVID, but ready to get something good going. Yes, I'm very familiar with Rob Taggart. I can't remember the venue. Chicken Deli could have been, not sure. I'm going to get a lot. I did a lot of gigs with Taggart booking as the booking agent at the Bistro. I think it was called the Montreal Bistro. I think that's what it was called. I think that was one of the venues that he used to book a lot of the gigs that I did. All right. I meant you, and I chatted online, not in person. Okay. Yes. I do remember a while back you mentioning something about this. I actually do remember this. Absolutely. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep up with these, and I got to get going soon, guys, because I got to go and do my thing. Big D Bass once named my band from an old delivery box on the house that had a sticker on it saying, "Oh, what did I just do?" I just eliminated. Whoop, something just fell in here. The place is haunted. That was weird. I just wiped out my comments here, guys. I'm sorry. I pushed the wrong button. I can see this here, I think. I named my band after an old delivery box in the house that had a sticker on it saying Damaged Goods. I said, that's it for our rock band. Yeah, Damaged Goods is a very cool name. Guys, unfortunately, I've somehow... Oh, there we go. Let me see if I got it back. Nope, that's not it. I've somehow wiped out my comments. Oh, there they are. I got them back. There we go. Yes, it is freezing rain here, guys. The weather's really bad. I got to go and drive for about 45 minutes. I can hear it. I'm in my basement, of course, but I can hear the freezing rain is coming down. It is not good. This is not good weather-wise. Thank God I don't have a gig, because there's nothing worse than driving a long distance when it's terrible weather. 45 minutes is bad enough. Okay, guys, I got to get rolling. Like I said, I got to go and teach drums. So thanks very much for coming in here. Slowfinger, I was in a band named after the drummer's white pod cat that hung out at practice. Made him the mascot, Boots Donnelly. Nice. That's cool. You're near Peterborough. You guys got slammed. No, I'm not near Peterborough. I'm in Hamilton, but it's not good here right now. It's supposed to be raining for the next maybe 2 days, I think. Right now it's freezing rain, terrible. Amos, hey, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. And like I said, this was not very much notice, just a few hours, just because I don't plan these things. I just sort of do them on a whim when I have time, and I had some time today, so I thought I would get up there and discuss a few things with you guys and throw some ideas out and see what you think. Like I said, let me know about what you're interested in, the stories, the lessons, the gear reviews, you know, the reaction videos, because I was actually going to probably do a reaction video maybe tomorrow, thinking about it. Anyways, Sean, you are more than welcome. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. And I'm going to let you guys go unless anyone else wants to comment or say goodbye or whatever. All right. Thanks very much, guys. I really appreciate everybody tuning in, and let me know what you think. And yes, Slowfinger, saying goodbye to everybody. Yes, thank you very much. It's a good group of people I have here on my channel. That's great. Okay, guys, see ya. Take care.